Welcome to the Align Your Vibe podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Dawn, and on this show, we talk about all things mindset, energetics, playing the quantum, and really up-leveling your inner game so you can create the results that you want in your life and business. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. This week, I'm answering a few questions that were asked over on my Instagram stories last week. Now, if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me at I am Kelly Dawn, and up in my stories is the place to be because every so often I will throw out Ask Me Anythings, and this is where I will respond to your specific questions, either up in my stories or here on the podcast. So let's dive in. Question number one this week I'll be answering is, how do you get clear on your offer? The first thing I would ask myself if I were going to create something brand new is, what do I feel like helping other people with right now? And also, if you're newer in business and this is your first offer, you can phrase that as, what can I help people with? Think of your life experiences. Think of the trainings that you have. Think of the different things that you're skilled with. And from that place, knowing what you can help people with, you can come back to this other question of, what would light me the fuck up right now in terms of selling something? Like, what would I want to share with the world? What am I so passionate about? I would want to shout it from the rooftops because I know how transformational it is. That is where you're going to hit the sweet spot for your offer. When you're selling something that you're confident in, that you know that you can help people get results in, and it's something that really lights you up, that you're excited to sell, it's going to be so much easier. The question I always ask people once they've gone through those two questions is, what's missing? What do you feel is still sticky? Because what can happen is you'll write down some answers for both of those questions and then still feel confused. And if this is happening for you, this has nothing to do with not knowing what kind of offer to create. This is a fear of putting yourself out there. I've been there myself and I've seen it time and time again. We will tell ourselves, or rather our brains will tell us, that we need to get more clear, that we need to have more things figured out, that we need to really think about the offer. All that time, you could be making money. You could totally be making money in your business. And so once you answer those two questions, the work is to get that offer out there and to consistently sell it, even when your brain is telling you that you need to be more clear or maybe it's not the right one. And it will do this over and over again in the earlier stages of your business, because you selling, you making money in your business is going to create a massive positive impact in your life. And while on the surface, that sounds absolutely amazing, but to your brain, that's terrifying because that opens up a whole new world for you. And even though on a conscious level, you're thinking, well, yes, I want more money. I want more freedom. I want to be able to help more people. Those things are fantastic. All your brain sees is nothing but problems because all of that is unknown. If you've never made money in your business before, or if you're going to that next level, right? You're always growing, you're always expanding. Those things are always new, and those things will always show up as something that your brain's afraid of. And so go back to those questions, answer them, and then get the work out there into the world and sell it consistently. With practice, this becomes so much easier, and you'll notice when confusion comes in. You'll notice when you're kind of spending a little too much time in your journal and not taking action, and you can lovingly call yourself out and be like, okay, I know my brain is just scared right now. I know what's possible for me if I sell this offer, if I make this money. I know how transformational this is going to be for me and my clients. I need to push through any mind chatter that's telling me that I need to go back to the drawing board and just keep selling the thing. All right, moving on to question number 2. I'm finding it hard to rest in between launches. How do I fully lean in? So the first question here I have for you is, do you even want to rest between launches? And I'm asking this because it's very easy for us to pick up different rules in the online space from our coaches and mentors and other people that we're learning from. And there's this way of doing business in the online space where you are taught to only launch a certain number of times per year or a certain number of times per quarter. And while that might be well and good for the people who are teaching that, if you're the type of person who has a lot of energy flowing through you, if you're the type of person in your business where you have a ton of creative ideas and it feels good for you to be selling all the time, you're not meant to be resting in between launches. You're meant to be selling all the time if that's what feels best for you. Now, you might go through seasons in your business where that's the vibe, and then other seasons where rest is what you're really being called to do. Like I know for myself in the past, there were times where I was selling something new every single month and sometimes every couple of weeks because I was selling a lot of short-term offers. They'd be like 4-week programs, 6-week programs, 7-day boot camps, master classes, and a lot of things that were shorter term. But I was in a space where I just had so much flowing through me. I had so much energy. I was just feeling like on fire with different creative ideas. And that worked really, really well for a while. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm kind of starting to feel like this is way too much work. And it started to feel heavy. It started to feel forced. And whenever I noticed that feeling coming up, I'm like, okay, something needs to shift. And so then I transitioned into offering longer term things, or even periods of time where I wasn't offering anything as far as group programs or paid master classes. And all I was doing was one-to-one work. And so this is why it's so important for us to tune in and ask ourselves, like, what do I truly want right now in my business? Now, if you truly do feel called to rest and take breaks between your launches, what you can do is notice what comes up for you when you are doing that. When you're off as far as selling goes and all you're doing is nurturing your audience and showing up regularly, notice what surfaces. Because what tends to happen is that instead of dealing with the things that are surfacing for us, we go into overworking mode. And you'll see this in other areas of your life too, possibly. You could notice that you're using food or sex or shopping or anything that is allowing you a place to focus instead of what you truly need to focus on. And this is one of the biggest things that I see show up with my clients who are really like driven, ambitious, overachievers, is that when they do take the pedal off the gas and they lean back because that's something that they truly feel called to do, they can struggle with it because for years and years and years, them going all the time, them hustling all the time has covered up a lot of stuff that they just haven't wanted to deal with or that they haven't had the tools to deal with. So when you do lean back, when you are in rest mode in between launches, what comes up for you? Notice the discomfort. And then the work there is to sit with the discomfort. And this is where having a coach can be really helpful. Sometimes this is a great place for therapy. Again, it's really about knowing yourself and what you need, but it's sitting through those places that feel sticky, that feel crunchy, that really push us in the direction of like, oh, I need to go and do this thing. I need to go overwork. I need to go, have that glass of wine, eat the pizza, do the thing instead of feeling what's coming up for me right now. That is where the magic happens, is when we just sit with that and we allow ourselves to just process all of the things that are coming up that we might have just squashed down in the past with busyness. Moving on to our final question for this week. How do you find that balance of let go of the how and inspired action in business? Now, I love this question because as humans, we absolutely adore getting all tangled up in the how. It makes our brain really happy to solve problems. And so after we take aligned action, our brain will automatically go into problem solving mode, looking for more things to do, looking for more things to fix. What we want to do is, just like we talked about in question number 2, notice what comes up for you once you show up and take the action, and then you release, and then you let go. Notice what comes to the surface, because this is where we're going to find out what shit we need to clear. This is where we're going to find out what our money stories are, what our stories are when it comes to attracting clients. And so just like in question 2, we want to sit with the discomfort. So as far as the aligned actions go, let's touch on that for a second. When it comes to growing your business, there are only 3 things that you need to do consistently. You need to be growing your audience, you need to be nurturing your audience, and you need to be selling consistently to those people. That's it. How you go about doing those 3 things, totally up to you. There is no one right way to do any of those 3 things. And this is something we dive deep into in the Ignite Your Business course. So if you want more info on that, it's in the show notes. But what you want to do is those 3 things consistently in a way that feels the best for you. Like for some people, growing your audience might be showing up on TikTok 4 times a day. For other people, it might be blogging. It might be partnerships. It might be brand deals. Really, it's totally up to you. But it has to be done in a way that works for you, your energy, your lifestyle, your personality, all the things. Otherwise, your business is going to feel like shit. So find out a way that works for you. Do those 3 things. And then notice what comes up for you. when you lean back. Notice what comes up when you take your foot off the gas pedal and you're like, okay, cool. Business is done for the day. I've shown up, I've sent the emails, I put the posts out, I've interacted with my humans, I've had my client conversations. Now I'm going to go do some other cool epic shit in my day. When you do that, just notice what your brain is telling you. It's going to give you so much information that's really, really useful, because once you find out what stories are running the show when you're trying to lean back and take your foot off the gas pedal, that's when you're going to be able to shift things. There's an exercise I learned from Abraham Hicks around this that I absolutely adore. And what it is you take a piece of paper, like a page from your journal or whatever, and draw a line down the middle. Now, on the left-hand side, you write down everything that you can control in your business. So how many times a week you post, what kind of content you put out, what state of mind you're in when you show up for your day, right? We can control all of those things. We can control how we take care of our little meat suits. We can control how we're feeling as far as like on a consistent basis, right? I know we're humans. We have our moments where we're like feeling out of control, but at the end of the day, it's really up to us how we want to feel. It's all a fucking choice. So you can write down all of those things that are in your control on the left-hand side of the page. On the right-hand side, that's where the universe gets to show up and do its job. And so some things that you can put on that side of the page would be like, who sees your posts? Like when the algorithm pushes your content out on Instagram, whoever sees that, that's none of our business. That's absolutely none of our business. Going back to the things that we can control, we can speak to our ideal clients in our content, and we can do things like, I don't know, use hashtags, create content that we know that the algorithm favors. Like right now it's reels, it's carousel posts as I'm recording this, which could change at any time because it's social media. So we can work with the algorithm to a certain extent, but we can't micromanage how that content is going to get pushed out in front of the humans. Right? We don't know how many people are going to see our posts every day. We don't know what frame of mind someone's in when they're reading our content. We don't know what stage they're at on their own journey, right? So we just need to trust that the right people are going to come into our business that day. Like that's all we can do. We can just lean back and trust and be like, you know what, universe, I showed up, I did the things, I'm taking care of myself, I'm working on my mindset, I'm feeling as good as possible as often as possible. You do your fucking job. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go play in my garden. I'm going to go have some sex. I'm going to do some other fun, epic shit during my day. You handle the rest of it. Okay. That is the vibe that we want to be in. So again, just notice what comes up for you when you are in that space where it's time to let go, when it's time to release. And this is really interesting. The very specific things that I've caught myself in are when I'm tempted to pick up my phone and check engagement, when I'm tempted to rewatch my Instagram stories to see who's watching, or when I'm tempted to triple check my email, like check my email 3 times in an hour, right? Those are the specific times for me where I'm like, whoa, okay, what the fuck's going on? It is time to take a step back. So whatever is coming up for you, whatever little triggers are, just notice the stories, notice what's going on in your brain, and then shift what's going on to something that's going to help you get more of what you want. All right, you guys, that's what I have for you for this week. As I mentioned before, the link to the Ignite Your Business course will be in the show notes below. That is open for enrollment until Wednesday. So you can find the details below. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram at I'm Kelly Dawn. I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. And as usual, I can't wait to speak with you in the next episode.